Hello, hello. This is Michael's son. Do you remember me? It's been more than a month since my last appearance on camera. Okay, that was the next to last reading of letter 3. Today we will read the final words that the Spirit wrote or dictated to close letter 3. Please enjoy the reading. Enjoy the reading. Letter 3, Excerpt 16. Summary. End of letter 3. The individualized consciousness that has ascended in vibrational frequencies becomes light or consciousness individualized. Without a body, it lives and enjoys life in the highest spiritual worlds. You will be led and will be able to access the higher spiritual dimensions. Step by step, you set new goals and transcend your ego, seeking, praying, and meditating to hear the voice of the Father-Mother Life and receive strength, power, inspiration, and love from it directly. Reading and rereading the letters to absorb them into your consciousness eventually. In that way, you will journey towards the light and will radiate light and unconditional love to others. But let there be no illusions. As these letters are introduced to the outside world, there will be the same recriminations and condemnation that Jesus received in Palestine. However, I want you to know that the individualized consciousness which has ascended in vibrational frequencies to the very portals of the universal creative dimension becomes light individualized, an individualized consciousness which needs no body in which to express and enjoy all that the glorious consciousness can devise in the highest spiritual realms. It is a supreme and enraptured state of being, having none of the needs, desires, impulses experienced by those who have not fully mounted high beyond and above the ego. While living on earth, your minds remain anchored within certain parameters of vibrational frequencies, imprisoned in bodies which have their own needs. If your consciousness were to truly soar beyond these parameters, your earthly self would disappear. When I was trapped in a body, I was also largely confined to these parameters of vibrational frequencies and consciousness. Furthermore, imagination alone can soar no further than your previous experiences, and therefore you are confined to your past, which you project into your future. However, little by little, you will be led by those minds which are sensitive enough to access the higher spiritual dimensions and can thus move beyond your present consciousness boundaries. They will record for you those wondrous experiences and states of being beyond your own, to which you yourselves will then be able to aspire. In this way, you go forward in levels or steps of spiritual development. Each step brings you a higher vision of what can be achieved, and out of this vision you formulate a new goal. With this goal ever before you, you work to cleanse yourself of the contaminating influence of the bonding rejection impulses of your earthly existence. Step by step you transcend your ego. When you transcend your ego and it dies within your consciousness, you are now abundantly alive within the love consciousness of Father-Mother Life and find the reality of the kingdom of heaven in your lives, within yourself and in your environment. To enable you to reach these pinnacles of love, joy, harmony, and rapture, I lived, worked, and died in Palestine, and I have come to you now in these letters. Let not my work be in vain this second time. As you read these pages, seek, meditate and pray for inspiration, you will come to feel the response of Father, Mother, Life, and if you listen every day attentively, you will hear the voice of Father, Mother, Life. This voice is ever with you. Dismantle the barriers created by self-will. Open yourselves to receive strength, power, inspiration, and love direct from the love consciousness of Father, Mother, Life. Read and reread these letters that they may eventually become absorbed into your consciousness. As you do so, you will be journeying towards light, and you will radiate light to others. Such light is not just light as is electricity, but is the very nature of universal consciousness, which I described to you in my letter 1. Therefore, as you radiate the light, you will radiate unconditional love. You will promote the growth and spiritual development of every other living entity. You will yearn to nourish and nurture. You will work to promote protection and healing in education. You will long to assist in the establishment of loving law and order, in which all will be able to live harmoniously, successfully, and prosperously. You will be in the kingdom of heaven. At the same time, let there be no illusions. As steps are taken to introduce these letters to the outside world, there will be exactly the same recriminations, the same condemnation, the same talk of Satan, the devil, as there was when I first taught in Palestine. Take heart, pray for courage. Those who endure to the end will rise above the turmoil and violence and will rest in the peace and joy of the kingdom.
So, how was that reading? The final reading of letter 3, at last, finally. Okay, please, as usual, allow me to just reread a few lines of this last excerpt of letter 3. This is excerpt 16, by the way. However, I want you to know that the individualized consciousness which has ascended in vibrational frequencies to the very portals of the universal creative dimension becomes light individualized. An individualized consciousness which needs no body in which to express and enjoy all that the glorious consciousness can devise in the highest spiritual worlds. It is a supreme and enraptured state of being, having none of the needs, desires, impulses experienced by those who have not fully mounted high beyond and above the ego. For our human minds, dear brother, for our human minds trapped in the bounds of the ego and trapped in the bounds of language, articulated language of words, it is just merely inconceivable what existence beyond, open quote, death, close quote, will be for us. That existence which is awaiting us, which will be a continuation of this existence. Because, believe it or not, dear brother, there is no such thing as death. Human death, all that drama is just a creation of man's mind. But there is no such thing. And it is, the power is within you to make of quote-unquote death what it should be, just a glorious, joyous transition to a higher dimension of being. A dimension in which you will retain a body, but it will be a more subtle body, pure light, not flesh and bone, no. And you will still be an individualized consciousness, and you will keep ascending and ascending towards the portals of universal consciousness or God. A glorious, joyous transition. You can have that. It is for you to experience, and it is right there within the grasp of your hand, your joyous, powerful hand. Okay, I truly appreciate your generous, loving understanding with me. I recognize that over the past 2 months, my output of these readings and comments has been quite irregular. Well, it so happens that I have experienced and gone through certain experiences which I needed to go through, and have experienced many moments of darkness and kind of troubling experiences, but now in retrospect I can see that they were necessary. They were just moments of hopefully close to the last moments of darkness that I had to go through, and now I have integrated that into myself, and I feel much more at ease now within my skin, in the light that I walk in now, and that I have determined to walk in without turning my head back to seeing anything of darkness, of obscurity, and I feel very, very well right now, and I appreciate that, and I feel much more thankful with life, and I love myself much more now, more deeply, because, dear brother, you have truly, you have to come to the point where you truly love yourself, totally accepting everything in you, all the darkness, all your wounds, all your experiences of misery and sadness, whatever, and then integrate that into your whole being. Anyway, just to let you know that I commit myself, I make the promise here on camera, I will do my very best to, from now onwards, just create these videos in a way which the output is fairly regular. What I envision right now is to put out at least just one video per week of reading and comment of the letters, and maybe an extra short video, much more informal, where I make some extra comments about what it was read, what I read in that week's video. Maybe how can we apply those things in daily life. There are mosquitoes right now, but I love the mosquitoes. Listen, my little brothers, the mosquitoes, you are my peer brothers, equal standing. So that's what I promised to do, and well, maybe and one thing which is worth mentioning, of course, I'm not going now to letter 4. So far we have read letters 1, 2, and 3. But I'm not going to letter 4. I'm going back to letter 1. I'm going to remake letter 1 entirely, because as you may recall, those who have followed me through these videos, the format of letter 1 was different. The sound quality was not so good, and I think the format that I have used in the videos of letter 2 and 3 is much more palatable, saleable, much more enjoyable for a vaster audience, which is what I want to reach. And so I'm going to remake, and I can also, I think I'm now in a position to make more insightful, more passionate, more genuine comments on the excerpts of letter 1. And it's going to be fantastic to just review all that, just all that information about the true, life when a young man of Jesus of Nazareth and his experience in the desert and all that. It is totally fascinating. And that is the, of course, opening gate of this wondrous document. Okay, thanks so much for being here again with me. I love you. I truly do. Please give me a like if you like this video. Please subscribe to my channel by hitting the button below. And many thanks for sharing with friends. Hasta la vista. Hasta pronto, amigos. Los amo.